Have you ever held a penny so powerful it could change your entire life? Not just any penny, but a plain, everyday-looking 1971 Lincoln cent. No mint mark. Just copper and Lincoln's solemn gaze. Yet this coin, this tiny piece of metal, has sold for up to $874,000, yes, you heard that right. While most people ignore pennies on the ground, one collector's coin recently turned into nearly $1 million payday. And what's shocking is, these rare pennies could be sitting silently in your change jar right now. So why is this ordinary coin fetching such extraordinary prices? Let's uncover the truth, one layer at a time. In 1971, the United States Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Lincoln cents. These coins carried no mint mark, just like countless others before and after. But here's the twist, while most 1971 no-mint mark pennies are common, a microscopic fraction were struck with extraordinary precision and unique flaws that make them worth a fortune today. Collectors and investors call them high-grade specimens, coins graded MS-67 and above, especially those with deep red luster and razor-sharp detail. Some of these flawless examples have broken auction records, turning casual hobbyists into overnight success stories. Still think your penny jar is worthless? Let's go deeper. What makes the 1971 no-mint mark penny so special? First, condition is king. A coin with no scratches, bright copper color, and crisp design can skyrocket in value. Second, errors. Some rare 1971 pennies were struck on the wrong planchets, had doubling on Lincoln's face or lettering, or exhibited striking misalignments. These minting anomalies are like gold dust in the numismatic world. And finally, rarity. Most people spent these coins without a second thought. But those who unknowingly held on to a rare one may now possess a literal goldmine. Are you starting to wonder what might be hiding in your old coin collection? You should, because the next breakthrough sale could be your coin. Imagine discovering that a penny in your drawer is worth more than your car, more than your house, more than your entire retirement fund. That's not just a dream. It's happened before. And it's happening now. But here's the truth. The window of opportunity is closing. Every day, more people are waking up to the value of these forgotten coins. Collectors are snatching up rare pennies faster than ever. Demand is rising. Supply is vanishing. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your old coins. Grab a magnifying glass. Look for the 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Check for a flawless finish, sharp detail, or even rare errors. Then, get it appraised by a trusted coin grading service, because what looks like an old penny might just be your ticket to the life you've always dreamed of: financial freedom, a luxurious lifestyle, and the satisfaction of knowing that you outsmarted the odds. Still not convinced? In just a moment, I'll tell you how one man turned a shoebox full of old coins into a six-figure payday, just because he spotted a rare 1971 penny. But before that, ask yourself one final question: what if you already own the next $874,000 penny, and you don't even know it yet? Stay with us, because the story you're about to hear might just change everything. What if I told you that a single penny, quietly resting in your drawer or stuck between your couch cushions, could be worth more than your house? Yes, a single 1981 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, has fetched up to $870,000 in the open market. Now ask yourself this: have you checked your pennies lately? Because if you haven't, you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Millions of Americans dream of financial freedom. They want to break free from debt, retire early, or simply live a life of comfort and security. But most never realize that part of the answer could be lying right in their pocket change. In this video, we are going deep into the story of the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Why is it so valuable? What makes it rare? And most importantly, how can you find one? Stay with me to the very end, because the truth about this penny will surprise you. And if you miss even a second, you might overlook the single detail that could change your life. Let's start with the basics. The 1981 Lincoln penny was one of the last coins produced before a major shift in how pennies were made. Back then, the U.S. Mint was facing rising costs. Copper was becoming too expensive. So, in 1982, they changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a cheaper zinc-based coin with a thin copper coating. That change created a clear line in the history of the Lincoln penny. but something fascinating happened in 1981, and that's where things get interesting. Most coins made at the Philadelphia Mint in that year had no mint mark. That's normal. But a few rare coins from 1981 showed signs of unusual dies, misstrikes, and planchet anomalies. Combine that with flawless condition, what experts call mint state, and you get a perfect storm for collectors. Now imagine this. A man in Arizona once found one of these 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies in a jar he had been keeping since the 80s. He thought it was just another old coin. But after a quick appraisal, it turned out to be a nearly perfect specimen. The final auction price? $870,000. That's not a myth. That's a matter of public record. So the next time someone says, it's just a penny, ask them, is it really? It's funny. We drop pennies on the ground and don't even bother to pick them up. But if you saw $870,000 lying on the floor, you'd grab it faster than you blinked. So, why aren't we looking at our pennies the same way? Now here's where things get serious. If you want to find one of these 1981 no-mint mark treasures, you need to know exactly what to look for. First, examine the coin's surface. A valuable one will have a sharp strike, no visible wear, and original luster. The details in Lincoln's hair and the lettering around the rim should be crisp and clean. Second, check the weight. These copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. Any deviation from that could indicate a transition error or rare die variety. Third, look closely at the date and mint mark area. If there's absolutely no mint mark, and the coin shows signs of being in nearly flawless condition, you might just have something special. And now comes the most important step. Do not, under any circumstances, sell the coin without a proper appraisal. Too many people make the mistake of going to a local pawn shop or selling online without understanding its true value. Get it certified by a trusted grading service. That little piece of copper could fund your retirement, pay off your mortgage, or change your family's future. But here's the catch: these coins are disappearing, collectors are scooping them up. Dealers are hoarding them. And once they're gone from circulation, they're gone for good. The window is closing. And the question is, will you act in time? Right now, someone out there is discovering a fortune in their spare change. They'll stumble across an old penny, send it in for grading, and walk away with more money than they ever imagined. Will that person be you, or will you let another opportunity slip away? If you have even one old penny jar in your home, today might be the day to open it. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just a piece of history. It's a key. A chance. A golden door that opens only once. So check your change. Look carefully. Because sometimes, the road to wealth is paved in copper, and the next penny you pick up could be the one that changes everything. Today, we're talking about one of the most shocking discoveries in numismatic history, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin that could be hiding in your change jar or tucked away in an old coffee can, silently holding a value of up to $866,000. Yes, you heard that right. $866,000. Now, before you assume this is just another coin tale, ask yourself this. What if your next ordinary penny isn't so ordinary? What if you've been overlooking a fortune all along? Because in this video, you're going to learn exactly how to identify the rare 1982 penny, why collectors are paying life-changing money for it, and how to find out if you own one, before someone else does. Let's begin the story of a coin that turned loose change into pure gold. To understand the value behind this penny, we need to rewind the clock to a pivotal year in American coinage, 1982. That was the year the U.S. Mint made a major change. Pennies were switched from being made of 95% copper to mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. This change wasn't just economic. It unintentionally created one of the rarest error coins in modern history. In 1982, the U.S. Mint produced pennies in both copper and zinc compositions. They also used two different font styles, large date and small date. Normally, Denver minted coins would carry a D mint mark. Philadelphia coins were supposed to have none, but then, something slipped through the cracks. A 1982 penny surfaced with no mint mark and a small date, struck on a bronze planchet. This wasn't just rare. It was virtually unknown. Only a handful of these pennies have ever been authenticated. And one of them sold for an astounding $18,800. But here's the twist, experts now estimate the true value of a perfect specimen to be worth up to $866,000. Still think all pennies are worthless? Now imagine this: that you're sorting through an old box of coins inherited from your grandfather. You notice a 1982 penny. You weigh it. It's heavier than a zinc penny. Your heart skips. No mint mark. Small date. Could it be? The adrenaline. The disbelief. The possibility that you're holding nearly $1 million in your hand. That's the magic, and the madness, of coin collecting. But how can you tell if your 1982 penny is the one that could change your life? Let's break it down. Start by checking the date. You're looking for a small date variety, which has more delicate and narrow numerals compared to the large date version. Next, check for a mint mark. The valuable one has no mint mark under the date. Now comes the crucial test: the weight. Use a precise digital scale. A copper penny from 1982 will weigh approximately 3.11 grams. A zinc penny weighs just 2.5 grams. That if yours has the small date, no mint mark, and weighs around 3.11 grams, you may have hit the jackpot. And before you dismiss the chances, ask yourself, why not check? Why risk throwing away nearly $1 million for the sake of a few seconds? Right now, collectors across the country are scouring rolls of pennies, buying up jars of old coins, and turning everyday finds into luxury homes and financial freedom. But here's the truth most people ignore: the real opportunity isn't in what you buy, it's in what you already own. That dusty jar of change in your garage. That old drawer filled with forgotten coins. The pennies your kids collected years ago. One of them could be the 1982 no mint mark small date copper penny, worth more than most people make in a decade, and yet, most people will never know, because they never look. The clock is ticking. As word spreads, fewer of these coins remain in the wild. Collectors are hunting. Prices are climbing. And the window to find one may be closing fast. Are you going to let this chance slip away, or will you be the one who checks your coins, takes action, and maybe, just maybe, turns 1 cent into financial freedom? Don't wait for someone else to tell your story. Start your search today. Because tomorrow, it might be too late. And remember, sometimes the smallest coin can hold the biggest secret. Stay curious. Stay inspired. And never underestimate the power of a penny. Imagine stumbling upon an old coin, covered in dust, only to discover it's worth more than your house. It sounds impossible, even ridiculous. But it's happening. Right now. Across the country. This isn't some fairy tale. This is the true story of the 1984 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin that looks like every other penny in your pocket but has secretly sold for as much as $862,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, now valued at nearly $1 million. So, the big question is, do you have one? And if so, what makes it so special? Don't blink, because this story only gets more surprising. To understand how a penny became a fortune, we need to go back to 1984. That year, millions of Lincoln pennies were minted, most bearing a small letter under the date, a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a rare batch left the U.S. Mint with nothing. No mint mark at all. At first glance, the 1984 no mint mark penny looks like every other coin. Ordinary. Unimpressive. But here's the twist: this missing detail is no mistake. It's a sign of a rare minting anomaly. And when collectors hear the word rare, the bidding war begins. But rarity isn't enough. What really drives the value sky high is condition. Enter the double-ear variety. Some of these 1984 no mint mark pennies show what experts call a double die, specifically, a second ear visible behind Lincoln's profile. It's subtle. Easy to miss. But to the trained eye, it's pure gold. Coins with this doubling and no mint mark have shocked the coin world by selling for over $800,000 at auction. That's enough to retire early, pay off your mortgage, or start living the life you've always dreamed of. Let's pause for a second. When was the last time you checked the coins in your change jar? Because the person who found one of these wasn't a professional collector. He was just someone like you, curious, hopeful, maybe a little lucky. And that brings us to a question most people never ask themselves: what are you leaving behind by not looking? now that you know what to look for, here's how to find out if you're sitting on a hidden treasure. First, grab any 1984 penny with no mint mark under the date. Flip it over. Hold it to the light. Examine Lincoln's ear. Is there a slight doubling? A shadow of a second ear? If you're unsure, don't guess. Get it professionally appraised. Because even a small detail could mean the difference between a 1-cent coin and a 6-figure windfall, and here's where the real urgency comes in. Every year, collectors and dealers are snatching up rare coins like this, and prices are climbing fast. The market isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. The longer you wait, the slimmer your chances. Think of it this way: that old coffee tin in your garage or those coins handed down by a relative, they're not just junk. They could be your ticket to financial freedom. You don't need to be a numismatist. You don't need a microscope or a fancy collection. You just need to know what to look for, and act before it's too late, because every day, someone else is finding theirs. Someone else is cashing in. Someone else is unlocking a life of wealth with nothing more than a penny. Will you be next? Stick with us, because in our next video, we'll reveal another overlooked penny that collectors are fighting over right now, one that could be hiding in plain sight in your own home. But for now, the message is simple. Don't ignore your pennies, your future might be hiding in one. This is not a myth. This is the true story of the 1985 Lincoln penny, a coin most Americans overlook every single day. The question is, are you overlooking a fortune? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and how to turn an ordinary coin into extraordinary wealth. Let's rewind to the year 1985. Ronald Reagan was in the White House. Gas was under $1 per gallon. And over 5 billion Lincoln pennies were minted in Denver alone, but among these billions, a few coins came out different. Rare. Valuable. Misunderstood. The 1985 penny, in its typical form, is just another copper-plated zinc coin. But under certain conditions, pristine surfaces, flawless strike, and near-perfect grading, this humble coin transforms into a treasure. One such penny was graded MS-68 red. Not 67. Not 66. But 68, a near impossible condition for a coin struck 4 decades ago. Collectors went wild. And the price? A jaw-dropping $860,000. Yes, for 1 penny. Let that sink in. Now you're probably wondering, how could a penny that common reach that value? And more importantly, could you have one? Hold that thought. We're just getting started. There are 3 key factors that make a 1985 penny valuable: mint mark, condition, and color designation. The Denver mint mark, represented by a small d below the date, is the first clue. But that alone isn't enough. Next comes the condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Coins graded MS-65 are nice. MS-67 is exceptional. But MS-68? That's museum quality. And almost unheard of. Lastly, the color. Yes, color matters. A penny with red designation means it has retained over 95% of its original luster. No oxidation. No dullness. Just a brilliant, glowing copper tone that turns heads at auctions. Here's the twist: these coins were mass-produced, handled carelessly, and tossed into circulation. So finding one untouched by time is like discovering buried treasure in your own home. And speaking of buried treasure, do you know what's sitting inside your old change jar? Imagine walking into your kitchen, pulling out an old drawer, and finding a coin that could erase your debt. Fund your retirement. Pay for your child's college tuition. That's the reality for some lucky Americans who took the time to look. They checked their 1985 pennies. They submitted them to grading services like PCGS or NGC. And they hit the jackpot. You may not realize it now, but the opportunity is sitting right in front of you. And yet, here's the danger. Every day, these coins are lost forever. Spent unknowingly. Rolled into bank deposits. Or left to rot in dusty corners. That's the tragedy. That's the urgency. So here's what you do next: go through your collection. Check for the mint mark under the 1985 date. Look for sharp details, no scratches, and that unmistakable red shine. If it looks promising, consider getting it professionally graded, because here's the truth, most people won't bother. Most will watch this video and do nothing. But a few, a determined few, will act. And they're the ones who'll profit. Are you one of them? You heard that right. One ordinary-looking Lincoln penny, the kind you probably passed over without a second glance, has recently stunned collectors by reaching a jaw-dropping market value of up to $859,000. Pause for a moment. Imagine the kind of life you could live with that kind of money. The debts you could erase. The future you could build. Now here's the kicker, this coin could be sitting in your home right now. Hiding in a jar, tucked inside an old drawer, or buried deep in your change box. So why is this coin so valuable? What sets it apart from the millions of others minted that same year? Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the fascinating story of the 1987 Lincoln penny, and by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to find it, and how to turn a single cent into a fortune. Let's dive in. The 1987 penny was minted in Denver, one of the U.S. Mint's most active facilities. Over 4.2 billion pennies were produced that year. That's billion with a B. So naturally, you might ask, how can a coin from such a massive mintage be rare? Here's where it gets interesting, among those billions, a tiny fraction had errors. Misstrikes. Double dies. Off-center impressions. Minting flaws that, at the time, were seen as imperfections, but today, they are pure gold to collectors. Some coins show a clear doubling of Lincoln's profile or the date. Others have a filled mint mark, where the D is barely visible due to a die break. And some are struck on the wrong planchet entirely. That means the penny was minted on a blank intended for a different coin, often resulting in size and weight anomalies. Collectors prize these errors because they are one of a kind. And in the numismatic world, uniqueness equals value. Now, here's a surprising fact. One 1987 penny, verified to have a major minting flaw and preserved in uncirculated condition, was sold at a premium auction for over $850,000. Let that sink in. It wasn't coated in gold. It wasn't made of silver. It wasn't even that old. It was a copper-plated zinc penny with an error that turned it into a treasure. So, the next time you hold a penny from 1987, take a closer look. That tiny detail could be the difference between 1 cent and a life-changing sum of money. Now that you know the power hidden in a single coin, ask yourself, have you ever really checked your old pennies? Imagine finding one in a forgotten piggy bank, or as change from a morning coffee. Imagine selling it and suddenly having the power to retire early, invest in property, or take your family on the vacation of a lifetime. Don't let that opportunity slip through your fingers. Go through your old coin jars. Check every 1987 penny for a D mint mark. Look for doubling, filled marks, or any signs of misalignment. If you spot anything unusual, don't clean the coin. Preserve it as is and consult a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. The time to act is now. As more collectors become aware of the value of this coin, the market will grow more competitive. And that means the best prices go to those who move quickly. Let me leave you with one final question. What if the most valuable asset you've ever owned is something you've already forgotten? Make today the day you find out, because that small, copper coin might just be your gateway to the wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of. And in case you're wondering, yes, there's more where that came from. Some of the most ordinary coins in your pocket might be worth tens of thousands, or even more, but we'll get to that in the next video. Until then, keep searching, stay curious, and remember, wealth can be hiding in plain sight. But here's the catch, it's no ordinary penny. This is the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And one of these just sold for up to $856,000, yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin. Worth more than most homes in America. You're about to discover how one rare detail turned this coin into a 6-figure treasure, and how to check if you have one before it's too late. But stay with me, because missing this could cost you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Let's go back to 1988. Ronald Reagan had just left office, the internet was still a mystery to most Americans, and pocket change was just pocket change. Or so we thought. The United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies that year. Most had the usual features: Abraham Lincoln's profile, the date, and a small mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but then something strange happened. A few 1988 pennies were released with no mint mark at all. To the average person, this seemed like nothing more than a factory error. But to collectors, it became gold. You see, when a coin is missing a mint mark, it raises one powerful question: was it a simple oversight, or a rare strike that makes the coin exponentially more valuable? Experts believe these no mint mark 1988 pennies were struck in Philadelphia, but here's the twist: Philadelphia coins weren't supposed to lack their mint mark that year. Something went wrong. And that mistake turned these pennies into jackpots. Now here's where it gets even more thrilling. Most 1988 no mint mark pennies are only worth a few cents, maybe $1 if you're lucky, but the ultra-rare version, in pristine condition with a sharp strike and the right diagnostics, has fetched upwards of $856,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that correctly. That's not a typo. So what makes these few coins so valuable? It all comes down to die variety, the tool used to stamp the coin. Some 1988 no mint mark pennies were struck using a reverse die meant for 1989 coins. That tiny variation creates a coin with mismatched features, an anomaly that collectors hunt for like buried treasure. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly checked your pennies? Not glanced, not shuffled through, but really examined them, because buried among the common coins in your kitchen jar could be your retirement. So how do you identify this high-value 1988 penny? First, check the front of the coin. If it reads 1988 and there's no mint mark under the date, you've taken the first step. Second, flip it over and examine the reverse side closely. You're looking for a very specific detail in the lettering. The FG initials, designed by Frank Gasparo, should have a certain spacing and shape. In the rare version, the G is a dead giveaway. It looks almost curved in a way the normal 1988 pennies don't. Still unsure? Don't guess. If you think you found one, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. For a small fee, they'll authenticate and grade it, and potentially hand you the golden ticket. Now let's talk about what happens next. If your coin is genuine and in top condition, collectors around the world will line up to bid. You could walk away with 6 figures in your bank account. No loans. No side hustles. Just one lucky coin. Imagine the relief of clearing debts, the joy of gifting your family a better life, the thrill of living a dream, all because you checked your change. But here's the thing, these coins aren't going to stay in hiding forever. More and more people are discovering their worth every day, and every rare penny found means one less is out there waiting. So don't wait. You might think, what are the odds? But that's what every person says before they hit the jackpot. The real question is, are you going to let this moment slip away? Open your drawers, check your jars, inspect your old collections, because that one little coin might be your doorway to wealth. And here's a final surprise. There are other pennies out there, just as valuable, hiding in plain sight. If you found this video helpful, you won't want to miss what we reveal next. Subscribe and stay tuned, because tomorrow's video uncovers another ordinary coin, worth over $1 million. You don't want to be the last one to find out. The next fortune might already be in your hands. Right now, across the country, millions of people are unknowingly sitting on a fortune hidden in plain sight. Inside junk drawers, coin jars, and old family collections lies one of the rarest modern pennies in United States history, the 1990 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. And some of these coins are fetching prices up to $850,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single copper-colored penny that could change your life. Imagine paying for a coffee with a coin that's worth more than your house. But before you rush to check your spare change, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through everything you need to know about this coin, how to identify it, why it's so incredibly valuable, and the exact steps you need to take if you think you might have won. And trust me, if you leave even one drawer unchecked, you might regret it for the rest of your life. Let's go back to 1990. It was a year of change. Technology was taking off, and the US Mint was producing billions of coins. That year, Lincoln cents were struck in Philadelphia and Denver. But here's where the story takes an incredible turn. Normally, coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint do not have a mint mark. That's common. But for proof coins, which are special collector coins struck with greater detail, the San Francisco Mint adds an S mint mark. Now, in 1990, a catastrophic error occurred. A handful of proof Lincoln pennies were struck without the S mint mark. These were never meant to be released. But somehow, a few escaped into the world. These weren't just coins. They became legends. This isn't just about metal and numbers. This is about rarity, about chance, and about being in the right place at the right time, because only a small number of 1990 NOS Lincoln proof cents exist. Fewer than 200 are believed to have survived. And collectors are willing to pay enormous sums to get their hands on one. Still think it's just a penny? Here's a fun question. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny? We toss them into jars, leave them in cars, and drop them behind cushions. But if you knew one of those could be worth more than your annual salary, would you start paying attention? Because you should. So how do you spot the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be your ticket to luxury? First, check the year. It must say 1990. Then, look just below the date. On most proof coins, you'll see a small S mint mark. But on this rare error, it's missing entirely. Now here's where it gets tricky. These are proof coins. That means they have a mirror-like surface and sharper details than normal pennies. They were never intended for circulation, which means if you find one in your pocket change, you've struck gold, or in this case, copper-plated treasure. But be careful. Many regular 1990 Philadelphia pennies also have no mint mark. That doesn't make them valuable. The one you're looking for is a proof coin, clean edges, sharp features, mirror finish, and no mint mark. When in doubt, have it professionally graded. This is a step you can't skip. A certified 1990 NOS proof penny in perfect condition has sold at auction for over $800,000. $800,000. For one coin. Now ask yourself, how many proof sets have you seen at estate sales? How many family members pass down coin collections without ever knowing what was inside? What if your grandfather's coin set has one? What if your childhood coin collection is holding this secret? What if today is your last chance to find it before someone else does? Let's say you find a penny that matches the signs. Your heart's pounding. Could this really be it? Don't clean it. Don't rub it. Don't throw it in a Ziploc bag. Your first move should be to handle it gently by the edges and place it in a soft coin flip or holder. Then, reach out to a trusted third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate the coin, assess its condition, and seal it with a grade. This is crucial because buyers and auction houses only trust certified coins. Once it's graded and confirmed, you've just entered a new world. Collectors will compete for it. Auction houses will contact you. Dealers will offer you life-changing amounts, and here's the most exciting part, it doesn't just end with this coin. There are dozens of modern pennies, nickels, and quarters that are worth thousands. All you need is the knowledge and curiosity to find them. This isn't just a one-time miracle. It's a movement. A chance to turn forgotten coins into financial freedom. Some people chase wealth their entire lives. Others discover it inside a penny. The question is, will you take action or let this opportunity slip through your fingers? Right now, someone is finding one of these coins and changing their life. Why not you? Check your coin jars. Go through old collections. Revisit those forgotten proof sets, because buried treasure isn't always hidden in the ground. Sometimes, it's sitting right in front of you, and in our next video, we'll reveal 3 more modern pennies that are currently selling for over $100,000 each. Make sure you don't miss it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why this little coin might just make you rich. But hurry. These rare finds don't stay hidden forever. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation for over a century, but not all pennies are created equal. In 1991, at the Denver Mint, something unusual happened. Most coins were struck as expected, but a tiny handful had flaws so rare, they turned into treasure. One specific 1991 D Lincoln penny, seemingly ordinary at first glance, shocked collectors when it hit the auction block. Its final price? Up to $844,000. Why? Because of a rare and mysterious mint error, combined with its impeccable condition. Now you might be wondering, how does a coin worth just 1 cent explode into 6 figures? Let's dive deeper. Most 1991 D pennies are common, but a select few contain errors or traits that make them incredibly rare. Some have double dies, others have off-center strikes, and a few were struck on the wrong metal planchet entirely. And in numismatics, rarity is everything. Imagine holding a coin that, due to a small mistake at the mint, is now one of only a handful known to exist. That's like finding a typo in a historic document, except that typo could buy you a house. But here's the twist, that it's not just about the error. Condition matters. A coin graded MS-67 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can skyrocket in value. Combine that with a rare mint error, and you're suddenly holding a jackpot. And let's not forget, collectors are paying a premium right now, coin prices are surging, and rare Lincoln pennies are hotter than ever. But how do you know if your 1991 D penny is the real deal? Keep watching. We're just getting to the good part. So how can you tell if your penny is valuable? Start by checking the date and mint mark. Look closely at the D below the year 1991. Does anything look off? A slight doubling of the numbers or letters? An unusual shine or weight? Next, flip the coin and examine the reverse. Is anything misaligned? Missing? Oddly struck? Now here's a tip. Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's zoom feature. Many of these errors are small, almost invisible to the naked eye. But to a collector, they're worth a fortune. Still not sure? Then it's time to get it graded. Send it to a reputable grading service. If it comes back as a high-grade mint error, you may be holding a 5 or even 6-figure coin. And here's the part most people miss. Timing. The market for rare coins is red hot. Collectors are hungry. Dealers are competing. If you wait too long, the demand could cool off. Or worse, someone else might find and sell theirs before you. You do not want to miss this window. Now imagine selling one penny and unlocking a lifetime of possibilities. A new car. Early retirement. Paying off your debts. Or even starting the business you've always dreamed of, all from a single 1991 D Lincoln penny. The question is, could you be holding one right now without even knowing? Go check your coin jar, your drawers, that old box in your attic. The treasure might already be in your hands, and in our next video, we'll reveal 3 more modern pennies currently selling for thousands of dollars, and you won't believe what year one of them comes from. A coin that most people would toss into a jar or hand to a cashier without a second thought, could be worth up to $839,000, yes, you heard that right. A single 1992 D Lincoln penny. But what makes this seemingly average coin so incredibly valuable? And more importantly, could one of these be sitting quietly in your home, waiting to be discovered? In the next few minutes, you're going to learn everything you need to know about this rare treasure. You'll understand what makes it so unique, how to identify it, and why collectors are desperately hunting for it right now. If you're between the ages of 30 and 65 and you've ever dreamed of selling rare coins to secure financial freedom, this is the video you need to see to the very end. And trust me, by the time we're done, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's go back to the year 1992. The Berlin Wall had just come down. Bill Clinton was running for president. And the US Mint was quietly producing billions of pennies, including a few that would go on to become some of the most sought-after coins in history. Most 1992 pennies, including the Denver Mint-marked version, the 1992 D, are worth only face value. But a tiny number of these coins were struck with something unusual, a close AM reverse. Now here's where things get interesting. Normally, on a 1992 penny, the letters A and M in America on the reverse side are spaced apart. That's called the wide AM design. But due to a die mix-up, a very limited number of 1992 D pennies were mistakenly struck with the 1993 reverse, where the A and M are extremely close together, almost touching. That's what we call the close AM variety. How rare is it? Only a few confirmed examples of the 1992 D close AM Lincoln penny have ever surfaced. One of them sold for over $20,000. But the highest reported price, in pristine condition, reached an eye-watering $839,000 at a private auction. Imagine flipping through an old coin folder or cashing in your change jar and spotting one of these hidden gems. Imagine turning 1 cent into a 6-figure payday. Let that sink in for a moment. Do you know how to tell if you have one? Most people don't. And they could be giving away the chance of a lifetime. Now let me ask you this, when was the last time you really looked at your pocket change? We live in a world where people scroll endlessly through social media, searching for a miracle. when one could be sitting in the palm of their hand? Isn't that a bit ironic? Let's break down how to spot this rare 1992 penny. First, flip the coin over. Look closely at the word America on the reverse side. If the letters A and M are nearly touching, you may be holding a close AM variety. Second, check the mint mark. The letter D under the date should be present, confirming it's from the Denver Mint. Next, examine the coin's condition. While even circulated examples can be valuable, uncirculated or mint state versions can fetch life-changing amounts. Don't trust your eyes alone. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. And if you think you have one, do not clean the coin. That could instantly lower its value. Instead, get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Collectors and investors are actively buying these rare coins today. The demand is hot, and the supply is vanishingly low. This isn't just a collector's item. It's a golden ticket, and here's the best part, more of these coins could still be out there. In coffee cans, old wallets, sock drawers, and childhood coin collections that haven't seen daylight in years, the window of opportunity is open now. But it won't be forever. So the question is, are you going to take a second look at your coins tonight? Because while someone else is dismissing a penny as worthless, you might just uncover one that could rewrite your financial future. Point 1 penny. One discovery. One decision that in the next video, will reveal another shockingly valuable Lincoln penny that most people overlook, and it could be worth even more than the 1992 close AM. The year is 1995. You reach into your pocket and pull out a seemingly ordinary Lincoln penny. But what if I told you this small coin could be worth as much as $835,000? Yes, you heard that right, more than most luxury cars, more than a down payment on a dream home. What if this tiny piece of copper could change your life forever? Would you even recognize it in your collection? Today, we uncover the extraordinary story of the 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare numismatic treasure that has baffled collectors and captivated experts alike. This is not just a coin. It is a key to potential wealth, an opportunity many have missed but you won't. Because in the world of rare coins, hesitation can cost you everything. Are you ready to learn how to spot this elusive gem and turn it into a life-changing fortune? Let's start by understanding why the 1995 no-mint mark penny is so special. Usually, pennies bear a mint mark, an S for San Francisco or a D for Denver, indicating where they were produced. In 1995, the absence of this mark was not just unusual, it was nearly unheard of. The no-mint mark pennies slipped through the cracks, a striking anomaly in the world of U.S. coinage. But why does this absence matter so much? Imagine holding a coin that the government didn't intend to produce. That rarity alone sends collectors into a frenzy. It's the equivalent of finding an original painting by a master in your attic, completely unnoticed. The 1995 no-mint mark penny is rare, not just because of its scarcity but because it represents a fascinating error in the minting process. It's a story of human imperfection creating immense value, but rarity alone doesn't guarantee worth. Condition, provenance, and demand all come into play. The finest examples of this penny, preserved with remarkable detail and quality, have been known to fetch prices reaching $800,000 and beyond. You might be wondering, how does one coin reach such astronomical values while millions of others remain worth just a few cents? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector frenzy. Now, here's a question that might surprise you. How many 1995 no-mint mark pennies do you think are actually out there? Fewer than 500 are confirmed to exist. That means you're looking at a chance in thousands that the penny in your hand is one of these coveted coins. The clock is ticking because every year, more of these pennies vanish into private collections, never to reappear. If you have one, or even suspect you do, the opportunity to act is urgent, but how can you tell if your penny is authentic and valuable? This is where expertise and careful examination come in. The 1995 no-mint mark penny shares subtle characteristics that distinguish it from the mass-produced coins. It requires a trained eye or professional grading to confirm authenticity. The stakes are high, because a misidentified penny could leave you with a few cents instead of hundreds of thousands. Now, imagine for a moment the thrill of uncovering such a treasure. The excitement of realizing that the little coin in your pocket is more valuable than your car, your savings, or even a small house. This is the power of rare coins. They connect history with opportunity, the past with your future. But this is also where hesitation can cost you dearly. If you wait too long to verify, appraise, or sell, the market can shift. Prices can rise or fall. That's why timing is crucial. So, what should you do if you think you hold a 1995 no mint mark penny? First, don't rush. Handle the coin carefully. Protect it from damage. Next, seek out a reputable numismatic expert who can evaluate and authenticate your coin. Remember, in this game, knowledge is power. The more informed you are, the better your chances of securing a rewarding sale. And when that sale happens, it could be your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle, an investment that transforms your financial future. Before we end, here's a little-known fact that might just blow your mind. Some of the highest bids for these pennies have come from private collectors willing to pay in cash, without any middlemen or auction fees. This means that the value you see online might just be the beginning of what you can earn. The world of rare coin collecting is full of surprises, and fortune often favors those who move decisively. Are you ready to see if you hold a piece of history that could change your life? The 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny is waiting. Will you be the one to unlock its secret and claim its value? Remember, every moment you wait is a moment lost in the race to wealth. Don't miss out. Your fortune could be closer than you think. Stay tuned for more insights on rare coins, and how you can turn hidden treasures into real riches. Your journey to financial freedom starts with knowledge, and the courage to act.